Big game this weekend between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jim Harbaugh was asked about his thoughts on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and this is obviously the answer that Harbaugh chose to give.
Well, playing against them as a player, there's an aura there. Yeah, that's and just everybody I've ever met from Pittsburgh. There's nobody on this planet I have more respect for than Ben Herbert, and he's from Pittsburgh.
Or John.
Just I know the kind of football people that come out of the Berg. It's real. It's genuine. It's unique. Just nothing but respect for it.
Wow. You guys are going to clap for him when he comes out on field on Sunday?
I was going to say he won over quite a few Yinzers when he walks into Acrisure on Sunday. Maybe a little bit less of a hostile environment before kickoff. Once kickoff happens, that's all out the window. It doesn't matter what he said. But I am very, very excited for that game Sunday because it feels like it's going to be a smash-mouth, old-school Harbaugh versus Tomlin type game. I'm very, very excited for that.
Yeah, I'm very excited as well. And obviously, I'd assume that Harbaugh and Coach Tomlin have massive respect for each other.
Yes.
J.K. Dobbins, obviously, we think is probably going to be a pretty big part of the entire game. Yep. He loves playing against Pittsburgh Steelers, said that yesterday. Mm-hmm. And then Justin Herbert, I know he's been like pretty boy, okay? Pretty boy, kind of quiet, doesn't talk much. He's got some sauce. Listen to this from this past weekend's game.
You see there. Second down and 4. Hey, kill.
Got the next play. A little fire from Justin Herbert.
I love it.
As soon as they go kill, that means they're going to the next play, which might mean we're going to the other side. So it might have been lined up to go to the left. Kill, we're going to the right. What does that mean? Well, lead blocker. Go ahead, we're moving. Yeah. We are moving. So whenever he's saying go, he's talking to the fullback. He's looking forward, hoping that he will remind him. Then whenever he turns his head and sees him, what are we even doing here? And then having a little, I like that. I like that a lot.
I love it, and you can only assume this comes from Harbaugh. Being around him, obviously, firing him up pregame. We don't even see what's going on behind the scenes as far as practices going, training camp. Kind of similar. I see Harbaugh coming in and having an impact that kind of Mike McDaniel had on Tua. Obviously, different players, different styles, but you always talk about the team taking on the personality of their head coach. It starts with that quarterback and Justin Herbert. I think we're seeing a different side of him. JK has kind of talked about him a lot behind the scenes, how he gets more fired up than we see. I love to see it. I love it. I love to see that from Justin Herbert. Saw it a little bit from Luck. Would have liked to see it a little bit more. I think some of us see him more fired up, behind the scenes in the huddle, because when you are that quarterback, I know a lot of them are, not as outwardly spoken, hey, going to lead by example, but you watch Peyton on the Manicast, I just watching him from the outside. I'm like, I know this dude was a maniac to play to play with week in, week out. Whether you're a coach on that staff, a trainer, an equipment guy, he just raises everybody else's level and so I love to see that from Justin.
I think it showcases confidence, and there's probably a lot of people that probably would say differently that haven't played in the sport. He lost his cool a little bit out there.
Yes.
That's what people say. There's potential that thought from somebody out there, not us, obviously. But when I saw that, I immediately was like, okay, I like that out of Justin Herbert. Teammates like that too.
Oh yeah.
That is, and even the guy that's getting chewed out at the moment, knows that he is a sacrificial at this exact moment for how we need everything to be, tightened up. And then Harbaugh and Herbert, obviously, week one had a little bit of a miscommunication on a tap up, hug. Harbaugh wants to beat the shit out of Herbert to wake him up a little bit. Week two, he said he'll be more prepared for it in Carolina. He took the beating.
Yeah, that's right.
He took the pregame beating from Harbaugh. And, a lot of questions being asked about the Carolina Panthers team. It's like, well, maybe this is just a different Chargers team. Remember, the Chargers are always this close.
Yeah. Yep.
Literally.
For years.
Every game.
Yeah.
Every game was this close. They lose, obviously, Keenan Allen and some pieces, and Quentin Johnston's now scoring 2 touchdowns a game, which nobody really thought. But if they are able to just eliminate one of those, this should be a vastly different year for the Chargers than it has been over the last, 10 years, seemingly, for them? It's what if Harbaugh is the difference? What if him at the beginning of that question is exactly what that team is needing, what Herbert is needed. There's a chance that's the case.
It is, without a doubt. I mean, part of the reason why when he got hired, I think, like it wasn't like hyperbole when we were saying like, hey, I expect this team to win 10 games this year and potentially make it to the playoffs. Like you always said it about Luck, how, Herbert obviously has all the skill in the world, but you look at just what Brandon Staley's personality was. Like, he might not have an older guy that he ever really got to learn from, but Harbaugh played in the league for 17 years. Like, this is exactly what he needs. And his stats might not be as gaudy this year because they lost so many pieces, but overall in the long term, like, I think pairing these two together, like, this is exactly the guy that he needs to kind of get him to that next step. Because, obviously, these guys love getting numbers and stuff like that, but like they want to win. Like, he wants to go to the playoffs. He doesn't want to be one of those guys where it's like, oh, he had all the talent in the world, but they went 8-9 every year and could never win the big game.
Well, what did Aaron throw for 176 or something this past weekend? And we'll talk to him here in a matter of moments. He'll be that does not matter.
No.
Like winning the game. Tom Brady was A-okay with just handing the ball off if he had to, using play action. Like that is Patrick Mahomes last year.
Yeah.
They were just running the ball. We're going to punt. It's okay. We're going to do that. It's interesting, all these people that, think they want to do something, have this mindset of if I put up the most numbers, that's good, that's good, that's good. It's like the thing that matters is winning. And when you win, the quarterback's going to get credit, coach's going to get credit, but there's enough to go around everywhere. If the Chargers start winning, good for them.